Welcome to the second video on ES6. Today we're going to talk about the Blockscope with let and const keyword of ES6 and my favorite feature, the template strings. So the first thing we want to talk about is the Blockscope. So ES5, or the old version of JavaScript, is functionally scoped, meaning variables you declare will only be available within the function that it's declared in. Now this creates a lot of issue with newbies with overriding the variable sometimes by accident due to its accessibility. So ES6 introduced a few new concepts which we can bind variables availability only inside the scope that it's declared in. So let me show you what this means. Here I have a function called myfunc, and within it I declare a variable called foo and set it to true. So this variable here, you see I used the keyword let. So this means this variable will only available within this function, within the scope of this bracket here and this one. So it's only available within here. So foo equals true, which is available to everything within this function. Now inside of here we have another if block. This one is saying if true, which is always correct, and it will run the code inside of here. All it's saying is while I'm inside of this if loop, I want to declare two more variables, one called car and one called website, and I call it with the declare with the keyword let. So I like car equals Tesla and website equals google.com. Now these two variables are only available inside of this if statement. So when you try to log it outside of it, it will say undefined. So let's see the output of this program. So first one, it says Tesla, which is correct, and then it says the website is Google. Now here, when we try to log this variable outside of the block scope, it will say the car is undefined because this is declared within this if block. So it's only available inside the if statement. So that's the basics of let keyword. So I generally recommend you to use let only, but there's another keyword called const, which you can also use. It stands for constant, and so you can use it for things like, let's say the variable pi, which is always 3.14. So you can use it as something like that. So you must initialize it when you use const. So you can't just do const pi without setting it to something. So here we have to set pi to equal to 3.14. And then here we try to set pi to something else again. But when we try to run it, look what happens. We get an error down here. It says pi is read only. So we cannot reset this variable to something else. So this is really useful when you have constants that you want to set. But you have to be really careful with constants, is that sometimes the word constant it actually means it's declared as a reference to a value. You can still modify the value, but you cannot reassign it. So what I mean by that is, let's say I have a const called my array and it's an empty array. I can still push to this array. And then, like, let me comment this out. And then if I run this, you see it actually modifies it, even though this is set as const. So you can still push things to it. This is just one of the caveats. Now let's move on to my favorite feature of ES6. It's called template strings, or string interpolation in other languages. So let me show you how this works. Let's say I have two variables, one called username and one called age. And I want to log this thing out. So the old way of doing it is this. This is the old JavaScript way. You do hi and then do plus sign of the variable. It's very messy, as you can see. If it gets larger, you just have to keep doing plus sign and then close the quotes and then open the quotes. There's a lot of room for error. Now with ES6, all you have to do is this one here. So let's look at what it's doing. This here, it's a backtick. This is the key on your keyboard next to the number 1 on the left side. So you can use a backtick around your string, and then within the backtick you can do something like this. So this is how you reference a variable inside of string template strings. So this is saying my friend, and then substitute this one with the value of username, which is pentacode, is 5 years old. So really easy. This is much cleaner than the other way. You can also create line breaks fairly easily. So let's say I have a, let's say you do an AJAX request to a server somewhere and you return some values and you want to write an HTML syntax with this. So you can, let's say, class name is foo and balance, let's say for a bank account is 400. So you can create a output div by doing a string interpolation. And notice I put a space here. So this will actually translate to a space in the output. So in the old way, you will have to do something like that to create a new line break. This, you don't have to do it. So it would be done automatically for you. So this will make your variable value look very close to how you would look at a HTML semantic. You can actually also do expressions. So expression interpolation. So let's look at this. Let's say I have two variables, x is 10, y is 20, and I created a function called say hi, and all it does is return the string hi. So you can actually have interpolation evaluate your variables within this $ bracket here. So this will say the sum of x plus y is actually x plus y. So it will evaluate 10 plus 20, it will say 30. And then here you can actually execute a function within the string interpolation. So it actually executes the say hi function and substitute the output into this template string. So let's look at the output. So this is from earlier, say hi to my friends, and then hi Pentacle, you're 5 years old, which is from here. So, and then the we look at the sum of x and y. So this is the expression interpolation, and then it says hi viewers. It replaces the function with the word hi. So I hope you find this useful. You should start using this anywhere in your code to make your code more readable, and I really highly recommend you to read more about this. I have the source code in the comments, and let me know if you find this video helpful. Thanks for watching. See you next time.